Hello everyone. I decided to do another flip through to one of my journals, and I thought that I would do the video this time in English because I could address more people like this. It's already some while that I finished this journal. It's almost about a year. uh, and I'm quite proud of it, how it turned out. I love how thick it came out. Here I cut through the ribbon accidentally while cutting some scrap of paper that went over the page, but I tried to fix it and it works. It's a journal from Notebook Therapy. I love their format and the thick paper they have. Here is a list of things, my favorite things. And I always try to make a front page that says, tells many things about myself and my favorite things. I started this journal in May of 2021, if I'm not wrong. So already some time ago. Yes. I always try to make a mix of little things I see throughout the days, some reflections about my days, and also glue things to it that I like and that make me happy. I would say it's a mix of scrapbook and diary. For example, here I just wrote my favorite parts of the day. For example, talking with a friend, drinking tea, watching my boyfriend when he's playing his games. I remember that was one of the first warm days this year, and I went to buy flowers because the next day we went to visit my boyfriend's dad, and I brought them flowers. I love nature, as you maybe can see, and I always try to add nature elements like the butterflies here. Here I did a collection of my favorite songs of the past year. It's a wild mix of anime intros and Neil Young, Billy Joel classics, but also Italian songs, and I always try to mix as many languages as I'm able to. This was a postcard I bought somewhere at the bookshop, and I loved all uh, the the writing that it has. It's many ideas about things to do when you are a kid, but also maybe when you are a grown up, because they are still funny. This day we were invited by our Turkish neighbors for Turkish tea. I remember it well. 20th of May, it's internationally known as the Day for the Bees. I love bees. some Italian vibes. I remember that day I sat after returning home from work. I sat at the train station in the sun and I drank lemon gazzosa. Sometimes I'm also writing a bit more and I have some things to think about. But mostly it's small. Here is, for example, a book that I bought and I loved it. So I told something about the book or other small parts of my everyday life. You recognize this sticker maybe? It's one of my self-made stickers. Here we spent some days in the mountain, one of my favorite places. And we saw a fox, so I glued this sticker of a fox here. Here a friend brought me a small sweet from the bakery and I cut up the paper of the wrapping and decided to glue it here because I liked the design. I ordered some vintage things from Russia, I remember. Don't remember exactly what it was. I guess paper scraps from books or something. And I glued the Russian stamps here. That time was also football. I always loved the summer evenings when you go into the streets and the people are cheering and laughing together and drinking outdoors and the television with the football game is on. Here my boyfriend and me did a 2-day hiking trip in the mountains of Canton Vallis. And we slept the night in that small hut. That's my favorite movie. I always watch it in summer. And some camping trip in Ticino. I love sunflowers. You might see them also later in the book. There will be more. This is an excerpt from Big Magic, a book by Elizabeth Gilbert. You might know her. She was the one who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And in Big Magic she talks about creativity and how you add creativity to your everyday life and how to live a creative life. I loved her thoughts that she shared in this book. I finally came to see the ocean again and passed some days in Sardinia. And then it already began to turn autumn. These are some, it's a funny story, these are some stickers that our shopping markets gave away to the kids. But I also wanted them, so, and also these two. I also collected some of them. Actually, they were made for sticker albums for children. But I think they also stay well here in my journal. This is from a game I play with my family. Maybe you know exit rooms where you are locked in a room and have to find the way out, but this is the board game variation of the exit room. Some poem I found and loved. More thoughts about my creative life, my writing projects. Here I went to visit a concert by a dear friend. She also she has added up with two acting guys, and they did a self-made project together. She on the piano, and the two guys recited the texts, poems. It was a very lovely evening. I tried to watch Naruto for the first time. Was really excited at first, but then tried to stop because at some point it was too hard for me to watch. Then we were at the circus. I loved Circus Monti. It's a small Swiss circus without animals and with a lot of poetic shows and acrobacy, and I try to watch their shows every year. A feather that my mom found during holidays, and she gave it to me because she thought I would like it. This is a piece of chocolate paper. Some postcards. I love postcards. Here I had to go to the hospital for some days, and afterwards I spent some days at my parents' home because I had an operation, but it fortunately went all well. And I read a lot during that time. Christmas memories. This is from my diary agenda. It had at the very last page there was written you can write your highlights of the year here. So when you have some sad time, you can come back to that list and find some happiness and be grateful for the happy moments you had. And I love that. At the end of the year, when I didn't use my agenda anymore, I cut it out and I decided to glue it here. And since then I still do it every year because I think it's a lovely idea to have your happy moments throughout the year in your agenda, and you can come back there every time you need it and find some happiness. It's lovely. Here's my wish page for the year 2022. I wished to finish my book and publish it. It didn't really go the way I wished, but I still published a book in 2022, but so I think I reached my goal in some way. Not the way I thought I would, but still I reached it. Is this a page? No. Just that thick, you see how thick the book comes because I glue all the things between the pages. Here I wrote a list of my favorite books of the year. Big Magic that I told you about earlier. This children's book, I really loved it. A manga about art. Yes. It was a good reading year. Another poem, I found that while traveling to Davos in train, and there was some magazine in the train, And there were also some poems inside. I particularly loved this one about the night. This is a sticker by Dutch artist Kim Oelslager. I love her artwork. She draws a lot of nature things. She also does some YouTube videos. This was my birthday, 12th of February, and we went to have pizza, the whole family together. It was a nice evening. These were the paper scraps that were under the glasses. Dreaming of spring. Then the Ukrainian war started and some other things happened. I did a spread with different things that happened in my life at that time. Look at this orange light. It really was that orange that time, because from the Sahara Desert there were orange dust that came with the wind until in Switzerland, and the light and the wind was all that orange. It was really strange. And also my shoes, I had black shoes that days, and they weren't really black anymore because all the orange dust fell on them. I went to visit a book vernissage. More flowers. Spring already again. I saw a sign with these rules of Wild West in a shop that sold cowboy hats and jeans. I kind of liked it though, so I wrote it also here. And I met up with some friends in Basel in the gardens. 23rd of April, it's the day of the book. So I wrote some book quotes here, book quotes about books. And more sunflowers. For the first time that year I had pulled out the seeds of the old sunflowers and tried to replant them the next year. And I also gave some of them to my grandfather, who loves gardening. And he always was sending me pictures when he tried to grow them, how big they already were. We exchanged pictures, I with my sunflowers and he with his. There was the book presentation of the Hotel Stories book of a small Swiss publishing house, and I was allowed to write a story in that book, so I also was part of the presentation day. This was in Bern. Literary Festival of Solothurn. It's my favorite literary festival. It's always in May, around end of May. And I glued in from the program the parts that I love the most. Simone Lappert, she's a poet and writer from Switzerland, and she told her poems together with an e-bass player. It was a great combination. Truly beautiful. And more sunflowers. I quit my job, so I didn't write that much in some time. because I had to think about my life a little bit. I think it was a good decision. More favorite music and more favorite books. I always try to read as different books as possible. So also in this list is manga, a Turkish author, German love story, young adult love story, then a fantasy book about books and traveling. This is more biography. This is Swiss German with a really cute dialect usage. Then an Italian family saga, and a pop song concert band from the USA. And that's the last page. 1st of June, I and my boyfriend went to the Elton John farewell concert in Bern, and it was really a cool evening. I loved it. Really special. And I didn't do that. Might should. I was at the sushi restaurant together with a friend, and they had a camera there too, and some kimono, cheap kimono, so you could make some picture of yourself wearing these. It was really fun time and good eating. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.